If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
It's interesting how nowadays, most 40-minute episode TV shows tend to feel like extremely long movies in their storytelling. But in the 70s and 80s, many of the most popular 40-minute shows were essentially a collection of mini-movies, each episode its own little blockbuster. My introduction to this brand of telly was during my homeschooling days, where I'd go around my grandparents' house once a week, and those types of shows served as our lunchtime entertainment. I recall initially wanting to watch them in hopes of camp we could have a good laugh at, and while they did definitely have their moments, I fell in love with their incredibly earnest old-school charm, which makes them a genuine joy to watch. And of the few shows I've seen from this era so far, the A-Team feels like the best showcase of what makes this style of program so appealing to me. Now, the cast of any show is incredibly important, but especially for simplistic serialized ones like this, where there is little to no character development across 100-odd episodes, meaning the leads need to boast incredible charisma for the audience to be eager to join them along for each and every ride. So the performers' strengths have to be fully utilized to elevate the archetypes presented on paper into something fresh and iconic. And the A-Team absolutely had this down to a T. Sure, Mr. T isn't the best actor, but I don't think anybody else could have effortlessly embodied the tough softy quite as likably as he did.
Yeah, this time no commercial flights, they're always late. We can't be late. Face man, I want you to scam a plane.
And while it's sad to hear that he and George Papard didn't get along in real life, I have to say, watching the show, you'd never guess there was any animosity between them. All four core members of the team have terrific on-screen chemistry with one another, each bringing their own great dynamic to the group. I haven't watched the pilot a second time, but I think it'd be weird to go back to it without Dirk Benedict in it. Tim Dunnigan lacked the debonair that makes Faye stand out in the group, and Benedict played so well.
Faye say he was gonna meet us here? Yeah, that's what he said.
And when you consider the careers of these actors before the A-Team, having the one cast member who had a big movie star career, what, you watch Breakfast at Tiffany's for Audrey Hepburn? Play the confident and cunning leader of the team made George Papard such a natural fit for Hannibal.
Tell you what, let me hang on to him, and if the maker wants him, I'll see to it he gets him.
And then we have the greatest character in television history.
You're nuts! No, I'm not! I'm condiments! I've been promoted!
Regardless of the quality of any given episode, Howling Mad Murdoch is always fantastic, with his array of impressions and bizarre, unpredictable quirks lending a madcap, always entertaining energy to these scenarios.
I gotta get to my dressing room.
Trash bags! I want trash bags!
That bomb is not dismantled, soldier. We're talking Hungarian goulash.
And the way he works off of everyone, BA's annoyance alongside the others, sometimes playing along with his craziness. He's just a brilliant character played to perfection by Dwight Schultz, a genuinely brilliant actor who isn't acknowledged as such anywhere near enough. And thinking back on the earliest episodes, it's pretty clever how the character of Amy is used as an audience surrogate for the introduction of this ragtag team who already have a rapport with one another, setting up their dynamic and reputation along with their empathy, which drives a lot of the storylines from an outsider's perspective. She was easily the best of the recurring allies, although the others were pretty likable too. And Decker was easily the best of the recurring colonels hunting down the team, hell-bent on capturing them but not at the expense of his principles, which made him a lot more interesting. The rest of the villains were usually very one-dimensional with little to no redeeming qualities. And it's great, because whenever an episode starts with the bad guys being complete jerks to innocent people, it gets you pumped to see the A-Team con them before serving some usually explosive justice. And of course, one of the more famous aspects of the show is how no one ever died amid the insane explosions and stunts in the action scenes. They'd always be shown escaping the wreckage. It's silly, but inadvertently makes the very rare instances when someone actually dies genuinely shocking, and the lengths gone to show thugs survive crashes can also just be incredibly funny.
Man, hey Cliff, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
The good guy guest stars are fun and generally sympathetic, but unless they're singers playing themselves or pro wrestlers struggling to act, they're not amazingly memorable. They don't need to be though, because the focus is always on the different and entertaining dynamics the main characters have with them.
I thought maybe you didn't want this job.
Hey, man, we don't work for no police.
And what is this? What are we doing here?
And let's say you intrigued us enough to want to find out if this is some kind of trap.
Even though the basic formula for each storyline is pretty simple, it is open to plenty of variety that the writers take great advantage of, especially for all the little ways said formula gets tinkered with from episode to episode. The A-Team aren't these unstoppable badasses. Hannibal's plans do go wrong from time to time, there's a whole episode dedicated to one that's a complete disaster, and they do get caught by the military police on several occasions. So then it's fun to see how they get around those hurdles, usually in rather elaborate and always entertaining fashion. And you get a wide range of overarching tones between episodes, some leaning more towards comedy, romance, some even legit drama and suspense. One of my favorites, actually it may just be my favorite, is where the team have to save this hijacked plane. It's really funny in the first half with the running gag of BA's fear of flying coming to a head, but the finale where they have to land the plane with little fuel left is honest to God brilliantly tense. Sure, it may conclude with stock footage from Airplane of all things, but for a generally bombastic series, time is given to a proper build-up which, even on repeat viewings, quietly simmers into a genuine edge-of-your-seat sequence. There's also the opening three-parter for the 5th and final season, the first offering a classic A-Team adventure before the second becomes a courtroom drama, drawing the entire premise of the show to a close, culminating in the third part which feels properly dramatic and suspenseful. Through the strength of the actors and again great build-up, you do believe for a moment that they could die, even though of course that's not going to happen. Honestly, alter the ending of that part and those 3 episodes would have been the perfect finale to the show. Although this last series is pretty good anyway, with a couple of standout episodes like this claustrophobic thriller set predominantly in this one restaurant which closed out the series in rather unique style, even though the actual finale was broadcast before that one for some bizarre reason. The A-Team may look cheesy at a glance, and yeah, I suppose it is, but to me, that sort of tone equals serious heart, and watching these capers for the first time and subsequently always elicits giddy excitement at the sparky banter, absurd building montages, fun action scenes, and of course that iconic theme tune. And I love the feel of this show. The use of real locations in TV or film is something I love, and there's something about things like this using them which makes them feel quick and dirty in the best way possible. Having much of the action framed with looming mountains in the distance gives this show a neo-western vibe. These outlaws going from place to place helping those in need in these little corners of America. Oh man, I must be the only person to have ever lasered in on the backgrounds of the A-Team. I can't properly articulate why, but it just feels special to me. The capturing of a particular time and place with little gloss, and especially while these great self-contained action adventures unfold with the same fantastic, larger-than-life characters at the center, it all makes for absolutely wonderful escapism.
Get yourself a team.